Football, baby.
Games, 2 against the Bills, the Chargers.
Yeah, it's going to be a real grind here to the merciful end of this season.
The Bills are going to absolutely eviscerate them next week in Buffalo. They probably won't care in the last game of the season, but it could be 75-10.
The residual Belichick and Brady hate with the Bills is real, and the discrepancy in talent and just the way that these two teams are playing right now, they might put 75 points on the board.
I think they put up 50 against 2 better teams in the past 2 weeks. So
the only reason they wouldn't
can.
is it'll be 49-3.
Yeah,
and I hope Josh Allen just goes for the jugular, goes for 75 points.
He's going to run all over them like a wild stallion with the hair bushing out of his thing, just right down the field on them all game.
Okay, well, that's a good way to lead into a snapshot here. Week 15, we are, as we just put, mercifully. I can never say that word.
Mercilessly?
No, it's not.
Or mercifully.
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 We are coming to the end of the season after bring me back to the bye week. Just bring me back to the bye week. It was a beautiful week last week. And then we are witness to this bullshit. Patriots 17, Cardinals 30. An absolute tragedy. There wasn't any point in that game that I enjoyed or ever thought that it was going to be a competition. So as we do, this is Snapshot, the weekly recap of the Patriots loss. So let's go ahead and start with opening takes. Go ahead, Bobby, your opening take.
The Crafts have turned this team into literally the most unenjoyable product possible. They put it here with their appointment of Mayo and their lack of ability to actually put together a true regime. They have a chance to fix it. They can't continue to let it spiral. That was, as you put it before, at no point were they in this game. At no point did the game feel competitive. At no point was it fun. I think in the past 2 years when they've been losing games that this was literally the most unenjoyable experience I've had watching the Patriots. And as we were just briefly talking about, they're going to get eviscerated next week. And the rest of the season is meaningless. They have to fix it. They have to do it now. They can't let this offseason go.
Yeah, at this point in the season with a team like this, new coach, new staff, new franchise quarterback, number 3 overall pick. You expect trends to be going up. You expect hope to start to creep into this. And the arrow is going the complete opposite way. Out of a bye week against the team that is reeling, that is not led very well by their own coach and their own quarterback. The Cardinals can be had on any given week. We know that with a Kyler Murray team. And to come out and put that type of performance on tape, and then to have the response that we had after the game, which is honestly, I give this team a little bit of credit for not spiraling out of control in the way that they have off the field with their comments and throwing each other under the bus. But that's starting to trickle in and has moved down these last weeks. If the Bills do go in and do what we think they're going to do next week, we're going to see a lot more of that, I think. With players speaking out and even coaches speaking out, and even, oh my God, the head coach yet again puts his foot in the mouth. What a surprise there. I believe I've lost Bobby, so I'll just go ahead and start the show. The Simple Mind Sports Show Snapshot Week 15. Welcome to the show. The Celtics are dumb front-running pussies. This is the same team they have been for 4 years running.
Well, my worst nightmare came true. Missoula and Mayo are friends. What the fuck? Apparently they've known each other since Virginia. They have these docking sessions where they talk about ball and managing people.
Vacation. I'm gonna quay all these. I'm gonna fucking watch them this week.
Do you say quay?
Is it not quay?
It's Q. It's Q. It's QUE. You idiot.
Here we are. Welcome to Semi Sports Show. If you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome. A special solo Patty edition of me right now as we wait for Bobby to pay for his internet bill. So you're welcome on YouTube. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platforms, subscribe, rate, review. As always, tell your friends, tell your mothers. Tell them about Behind the Paywall. That's our free subscription to our newsletter where we will read the biggest stories, summarize them, giving you an opinion on them from all of the paywall sites, ESPN, Boston Sports Journal, Athletic, Herald, Globe, you name it. We will pay for it. We will summarize it for you. Just go to the link in the bio, go to the link in the comments, or go to simplemindsports.com in the newsletter, and you'll have access to that every single week as we bring Bobby back on. You've paid your bill?
I did, yes.
Congratulations on that. Perfect timing because we're back into the show. Dumping on the Patriots. Not even dumping on the Patriots. We've been dumping on the Patriots all season long for the same goddamn thing, and it all stems from the top. We can go right to the top of ownership. We've done that. We've come up with various plans. I thought yours last week was brilliant. They have to promote Gerard Mayo into a title of significance where his job is insignificant. That's a George Costanza-esque solution for this that I believe will work.
I think it satisfies all parameters where everybody saves face. You've come to the realization that Gerard Mayo's talents are better suited elsewhere. He's such a valuable asset that he needs to be promoted to oversee all businesses, not only the New England Patriots, but all businesses in the craft industries. And he is needed elsewhere so that somebody else can go toil away on the day-to-day grind that is being a football coach, because his insight is needed elsewhere.
Yeah, that's right. The adjacent Vandelay Industries to Craft Productions is actually located in Singapore, and Gerard's going to take a little sabbatical there for a couple years.
Make him the head taste tester for the macaroni and cheese department.
Yeah, they do paper, not Matt, but that's fine. 17-30, never felt that close. Another garbage time touchdown for the Patriots. Another 3-point first half. Another missed field goal in that first half. The mistakes, the blunders, the disgustingness. We could write a list. We put a couple of them down. We can go anywhere you want. But I have a couple of key takeaways here. Not directly related to leadership in Gerard Mayo and the Crafts, which is really where all this stems from. And frankly, until that's resolved and solved, nothing's going to matter because I think it's defined. Gerard Mayo is not the guy for this job. He should not be the guy moving forward. How they handle that, whether it's via a Vandelay Industry or a more traditional route, is up to them, obviously. They own the team. So let's just get off that for a second. We'll get back to it, I promise. Let's just stick to on the field. Here's your winner. 0 for 6 were the Patriots on third down. 10 for 15 were the Cardinals on third down, including 6 in a row in the fourth quarter series that salted the game away, where James Conner just ran wherever he wanted, whenever he wanted. How they didn't give him the ball 50 times in that game is beyond me. The Cardinals.
He looked like Gale Sayers, and Walter Payton just had a love child that just galloped beautifully through the field.
His 2 touchdowns, like he stopped at the goal line, took a piss, and then moonwalked in. The fact that they didn't give him the ball every time is another indictment that the Cardinals can be had by any team with a clue, and the Patriots simply didn't have a clue. But it's those third down numbers. If you want to go offensively, we've been focusing on that. Alex Van Pelt, we've got more on him. He seems to be the newest scapegoat that everyone's going to be throwing under the bus, quite literally, including his head coach. But even defensively, Drake May and the offense go down. May has that beautiful shuffle pass touchdown playmaker after the dime to Bourne down the sideline. And then immediately the defense gets on the field, gives up 6 third downs, it lets them march down and really salt the game away. So to me, that's where it is. And it all goes to it's a whole game script situation where you can't get off the field and you can't stay on the field. Total number of plays is 49-64. You lost the turnover battle and you lost the time of possession by 20 minutes. That all stems to staying on the field and getting off the field. And they can't do either of them at all.
Yeah, their inability to execute in any sort of a situation is resounding, whether it comes from specifically What's that?
That's just the overarching explanation of their inability to execute in any situation at all is
They can't. It's just as you described it. Any third down is a chance to execute anything that they do, whether it's from a coaching standpoint, whether when they call the right play on defense, or whether the players make the right play, they fail every single time. And also too, when they just continue to get loser roll after loser roll when it comes to like bad plays, like the Kyler Murray where he fell forward and then Jennings hits him in the head. Like that's just loser luck. Like that wasn't a bad play by anybody, but it just happens to you when you're a goddamn loser, and that's where they are.
That's where they are. And that, as I put in the email, they're too shitty of a team to care about that play. If they had any resolve whatsoever, that would have been a huge play in this game, and it could have cost them one way or another. It wouldn't have mattered. If they got that interception, it would not have had an outcome on the game. They wouldn't have executed where they needed to, whether they got that or not. And that, the ancillary numbers within this game, statistics go to show you that it wasn't a terrible game offensively, really. I mean, you had the interception that was another fluky interception. We're not Booty and Mayer not quite on the same page. They're young players. You're going to have that with young teams. Okay. You only had 4 penalties. 2 of them dicked you down right in the first goddamn series of the game. Which is, just perfect right out of the bye week. Here's your another holding call for Layden Robinson. And then, Vidalian Lowe shows up and gives up the sack, and you get a missed field goal, and boom, we're right back to square suck after the bye week. But you only had 4 in the day. So my point is, I know you want to say something there. The rest, at least offensively, you put up a respectable enough-ish program outside of the third downs, really. And then defensively, it might be a different story. Maybe I'm talking myself out of that, but specifically, only 4 penalties is good for a team like this.
They were buttoned up there. However, the stats, they just lie. The people that don't watch the games but are casual fans and then want to talk to you about it after, they're like, oh, they're so close. They just do this. They just do that. You're like, do you watch the fucking game? Do you have any understand of cadence in football and how it goes and just how they aren't close. They aren't even close to competitive. That's what NFL losing looks like. Like occasionally you score touchdowns because you're playing. It's just probability. Like bad players make good plays every once in a while. But they are not close to being a competitive football team under that regime because they cannot execute in any way, shape, or form in any type of a pressure situation. And I'm even calling third downs pressure situations just because you have to have it.
Yeah. No, it's true. And it all goes back to coaching, and the continued regression of the defense is pretty astounding. I mean, you went from a top 10 defense to now probably the worst in the league. And again, that all comes back to execution as well. But as we always do, let's get to pros, cons, and observations from Chief Bobby here. Week 15 loss, not sure is worth talking about, but here we are again. We're going to start with a con. As we do every week, Bobby writes this up. I read it verbatim into the camera as Ron Burgundy, and let's see how badly he screwed up and how badly I screwed up. Let's go. The offensive line holds this team back from any sustained success. Each lineman will personally take a turn to torpedo a drive. Penalties, missed snaps. Oh, the missed snaps. Ben Brown, baby. Come on. Missed blocks, you name it. They will do it and fuck up any shot of a good play. Vidarian Lowe is the worst left tackle in football, and it's depressing. They can't call aggressive plays because the offensive line literally cannot support them. They forced into basic nonsense, then had shit play calling on top of it. It's the same old story. Complete failure of the personnel department. Wolf out. Your tone in these was fantastic. Come from a real point of just anger, but also disappointment, and well done.
Yeah, no, this game, again, I do mean it when I say it. A lot of these other games, even though the Patriots have lost, I've enjoyed the quote unquote experience of the game. I hated this fucking game. This game was from the second of kickoff. There was just a feeling of they don't care. They came out of the bye week and they don't give a fuck. The only one that does is Drake May, and he looks miserable.
He does. That's something you need to worry about for sure. And we had the clip last week in our Thursday show of Hooper. Austin Hooper had a line I should have brought into this show, but basically we're in the bye week. Professionals act like professionals, and the rest of these trap hoes in the wide receiver room are down in Miami or wherever the fuck they are, getting their dick on. And it showed. It showed, man.
As I'll make the point, they couldn't. I bet they all failed at that too.
Yeah, that's probably
probably ran the wrong route to try and get it.
Bad moves coming back. Although I'll give Pop Douglas and Kayshon Boutte are at least out there trying. If they were a number 3 wide receiver on any serviceable offense, they'd probably be a decent NFL player.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's their role. Their role, if they were the Patriots' 3rd and 4th receivers, fine.
Same with Bourne if you want to give Bourne. I'm out
Fuck
on Bourne.
He's an asshole.
Nice catch down the sideline, but he's like a 30% player. 30% of the time.
It takes him till week 15 to become a viable NFL player.
Yeah, exactly. They suck. It's so bad. The offensive line, I mentioned it just a minute ago, but Layden Robinson, right off the bat, first drive, holding, brings back a nice run from Gibson to whatever it was, the 19-yard line. Same drive, right? Was the Vidarian Lowe 2 total plays? Just not even close, Vidarian Lowe. Not even close. He's playing left tackle. They're rushing 4 guys. The defender all the way to the left of the left tackle is not even looked at on that running. Vidarian Lowe doesn't even look at him.
No.
It was baffling. The very next play, almost the same thing happened. He must have caught the pass rusher out of the corner of his eye and threw his arm at him, but not even close. Sacked was Drake May and led to the field goal, 50-plus yard field goal from Joey Sly, who, of course, he missed, which leads us to our next observation, as Bobby puts. Ownership did not look happy from the press box. Television coverage frequently went to the Crafts, who looked visibly upset at the product in the field. Lip reading suggests they were questioning the play calling and calling the team fucking trash. I think someone did say that. This coming from after reporting that Mayo might not be safe and that Johnny Kraft is leading the charge. As Bobby puts, I've never been a big fan of Johnny as I am now. Get it done, Johnny. Save your dad from himself. And we actually have the footage here of the Crafts talking about how fucking trash their team is. Here you go.
Separate, and you have an offensive line that struggles all year and really inhibits your offense.
Since 1994, the Patriots under Robert Kraft 7-1 versus Arizona. The only win for the Cardinals is in 2012. And don't forget, the last time Kyler Murray faced the Patriots, that's when he tore his ACL. He said,
the lip reading, I didn't get fucking trash, but I felt the sentiment. 100% Robert Kraft goes, I don't get the fucking play calling.
Yep.
And Jonathan Kraft goes, the play calling's terrible.
Yep. The only thing I can hope is that those are rich, powerful men, and they absolutely look disgusted. So usually when that happens, there are changes and they're not going to take the blame. So somebody has to take the blame. So that's usually what happens. They don't look happy.
That TV copy came after a -1 play from Antonio Gibson and a -6 running play from Antonio Gibson. And we'll get more into this here, but Van Pelt felt like he had climbed above the muck and mire and got himself into a safe position here with the way Drake May was playing. Not so fast, ladies and gentlemen. The guns are pointed directly at Mr. Van Pelt. And, rightfully so. I think they all should be, honestly. But when you have that play call, which led the Crafts to talking about how bad their team was trash, and then you have the failed goal line conversion on 3rd and 4th down where you just run 2
4th down call was terrible,
which led to the foot in the mouth by Mayo again, which we'll get to in 1 second. You've got trend lines pointing all over the place that Alex Van Pelt is about to be the scapegoat here. And I don't know whether that's right or wrong, good or bad. If it's just him, or I guess we'll have a while to talk about the best way to move forward and who's going to be the one that actually gets canned. But coming out of this game, Alex Van Pelt is right in the crosshairs.
Yeah, I think it's slightly unfair. I do think his play calling is affected by his offensive line and how shitty they are. I don't think that he probably gets to run plays and run aggressive things that he wants to because of the absolute probably worst tackle play in the NFL. That being said, he does still have dumbass calls like that 4th and 1 just to run it right up the gut. Like, you're not that team. You can't do that. Just run Drake May to the far hash and let him do something. Just that's the play. That should have been the play on 3rd down. That should be the play on 4th down or a quarterback sneak. It's very simple. They literally haven't run one. I don't believe they have run any viable quarterback sneaks. Maybe the center literally can't do it. It could be possible. Those things, sometimes you don't think about it. He literally can, as a center and a guard combo cannot effectively do that play.
I wouldn't bet my money on that. I bet my money that they've never practiced before because Gerard Mayo said almost as much. And as you put it here, another con. And I said before you paid your internet bill, the wheels are starting to fall off of a 3-11 team, which I almost give them credit for. The players more than anybody else who have not spoken out as much as they have on a team this bad and this poorly managed, run, and led. But we're starting to get that, man, and it comes right from their head coach. But as you put, and we've got some examples for you here in a second, as you put, players and coaches are questioning everything. The post game was an embarrassment. Mayo questions the play calls again and puts his foot in his mouth for the 50th time this season. That's probably an understatement. Players on both sides of the ball question the decision made. Drake May finally sounds fed up. He looked miserable during the game. He knows he doesn't have a chance out there with the players and the coaches he has behind him. They need to support him before he checks out of the organization. And again, after the failed goal line on 3rd and 4th down, Phil Perry asks Gerard Mayo, was there ever thought of running Drake May there?
2 plays that couldn't get the half yard, and did you have a conversation with Alex around 4th down there?
It was very, it was disappointing. I said this, I think probably the first week of the season, there comes a point in time as a football team where everyone in the stadium knows what the play is, and we just got to move bodies, and we weren't able to do that.
But lack of running the
team, though, Gerard, do you feel like you've shown that you can be that kind of team when everybody knows?
Look, we have guys in there that are physically tough, mentally tough, and my expectation for them is that we always can move bodies. Unfortunately, we didn't do that today.
Would you consider running Drake in that situation? That it's a short yard situation, he can run.
You said it, I didn't.
There's the big sound piece of the week. You said it, I didn't, in which Gerard Mayo has walked back immediately like he's done, to your point, 50 times.
He's such a boob. God,
he's awful. The EEI stint that he did today, I forget who's on that show. I don't listen to EEI, but it pops up. One of the guys was kind of rambling over his question, kind of like I'm doing now, and Mayo was giving him a little grief for it. And he goes, "Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll take it all back tomorrow." And I thought that was a nice dig at Gerard Mayo, who comes off foolish after every single game. This one being the worst among them, and the chief leader at Van Pelt. You're on your way out, bud. Drake May was asked about the same thing. Could you be a weapon here? And he said, "Look, it's hard to stop a 6-foot quarterback." To your point, he looks disillusioned, not just frustrated. He runs in. He has a great play on the last touchdown that they score. All out blitz from the Cardinals. He just very easily and swiftly runs around it and runs in for an untouched touchdown. Flips the ball to the ref and like, fuck, we don't have a chance. So the wheels are starting to fall off. What was your instant reaction to you said it, I didn't?
That he just immediately just sounds like a boob. And I actually even went back and thought about the report last week where he was torpedoing the offense as the defensive whatever he was last year, that like, oh yeah, he does do these sorts of things. And he's been making these fucking comments all year. So it's like, this shitty culture probably starts with him, because he probably makes these dumbass quips all the time in the facility with whatever he's doing, and just kind of gives off that general vibe that he's so fucking arrogant and smart. And just the reason why this isn't working, that it isn't him.
He is a corporate America stooge, which we both know. That's how you operate in corporate America.
God damn right. It works in corporate America. That type of attitude will get you to be a VP very easily.
Exactly. Not so much as a football guy. Not so much as a football guy. Fake it till you make it in corporate America. They'll see right through that in an NFL locker room. And the players are too. We've got quotes. Kayshon Boutte. Kayshon Boutte was asked about sometime about the play calling. And there he goes. No, where'd it go? Sorry, I'm losing it. Well, he was asked about the
I can paraphrase it.
Go ahead.
Basically, he had said, we knew they were going to run man coverage. It's what they do. We should have exploited it from the very beginning.
Yeah, thank you for the paraphrase. I don't know where that quote went, but again, calling out his play caller, calling out his offensive coordinator. We need to be more aggressive on that. I did hear kind of the rebuttal to your point is Alex Van Pelt's like, what do you want me to do? We can't protect for more than 2 seconds. We can't run aggressive play calling.
Yeah.
They blow. What do you want them to do? Where's the other one? Oh, Booty had look, this isn't quite an excuse, and I almost give them credit here. Drake May and Booty were asked about the interception that went off Booty's hands. Clearly that pass from Drake May, and May said, look, I was trying to shy him away from the safety there. Buda Baker was coming in to take Keyshawn Booty's head off. So May dropped it into the middle of the zone. This happened against Pop Douglas in that game losing interception to whichever team that was, Tennessee.
The Rams.
Was it the Rams where Douglas made the out route all the way and
he dropped
May
it?
read it as a cover two, drop it in the middle of the zone. So clearly they're not on the same page. You can put that on the players, okay, but this is the second time we've seen that happen, turn into an interception. So where's Tyler O'Neill and that coaching staff going, hey, if it's a cover two wide receiver, stop running, sit down in the zone, like every NFL wide receiver has learned to do in the history of the NFL. But again, they're young. But Booty comes out and says, we knew he gives himself a little bit of leeway here. And this is what loser fucking teams do because they're all playing for contracts now, not for the team. We knew they was going to play man the whole game. Oh, this is where it is, but I feel like it was disrespectful. Here's what Booty has to say about the catch, about the interception. I'll just say, I know it's a play I've got to make, but it's kind of hard when you're running full speed in one direction and the ball is kind of low. It's a play I've got to make. We talked about it to see what we can both fix. May's pass was ever. May goes on to say, the intermediate pass to Booty was kind of unfortunate. I tried to lead him away from the safety. Stuff like that happens. So both of them are just going, look, not on me, man.
Yep.
Not on me. Unfortunate. I know we got to make the play. We got to take accountability. We're taking accountability, but not really. They're both just skating.
Every player, for every mistake they've made this year, has taken accountability. They've been like, yeah, my bad. I didn't know the play. Mike Onwenu, or like, I didn't hear it. Or like they've all taken accountability. They just never fixed the problem.
There's no accountability from the coaching side.
Correct.
And it's like, yeah, we can go out there. We suck. Everyone knows we suck.
Yeah, because they don't know how to proactively solve those problems. They can see that something happened, but they don't have the foresight or detail-oriented plan to account for these things. Like to your point about the wide receiver coach telling them to sit in a cover two, he probably doesn't even know it doesn't even get down to that level.
Yeah, they're just trying to teach them the routes still, or they're learning the routes themselves. Who knows how bad it is? Here's one that stuck out to me. This was obviously an interview, I think, before the game, but the article was released Sunday. It's from Andrew Buller-Russ. Never heard of him before. This is from Jacoby Brissett. This is a quote from Jacoby Brissett. Asked about the struggles this season. There's so much I could say, but I guess not ideal. Obviously, in a unique situation here. I'm not the one to make excuses, but at some point, somebody is going to have to watch the film and understand what I was dealing with. I think that kind of speaks for itself. I think it's very easy for people to blame the quarterback for things. That's what this profession is. But yeah, man, tough year. Let me just read that one sentence again. I'm not one to make excuses, but at some point, someone is going to have to watch the film and understand what I was dealing with.
Yeah. Everybody on this offense is fucking terrible, and they don't know what they're doing.
Everybody, top to bottom. Jacoby Brissett, of all people, just laid that out for you. Can I give you two pros? Probably the only ones. Drake May, bona fide playmaker.
Yep,
totally. I'll tell you right now, though. Well, look, the dime to Bourne, which we talked about down the right sideline, that's Drake May wheelhouse. I think we've seen that a couple times this year. Kid could throw it into a bucket at that distance in that area. The little Patrick Mahomes-y shuffle play to the touchdown to Douglas, that's just instinctual playmaking. Awesome. As I pointed out, the rushing touchdown, and he avoided an all-out blitz fairly easily, whether he saw it coming or just reacted. No effect there. 83% passing, 202 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, and the fluky interception. I still can't be sold on him. And if anyone says they are outside of the raw skill set, they haven't played in any part of a competitive game with Drake May under center at all. So show me him in a real game where they have to actually go score a touchdown in a real game. Then we can start to judge him.
That was the one criticism that Belichick had that was fair. He's like, yeah, he's been playing great. Let's see when there's real pressure.
Yeah.
He hasn't had any. He plays backyard football right now.
when it's 23-3 in the fourth quarter, you can do anything, and
exactly.
People are going to
whatever happens. It just doesn't matter right now.
That's right. And then Christian Gonzalez, very good, very, very good. Those 2 end zone breakups on Marvin Harrison Jr. Top shelf, all pros kind of play.
He made Marvin Harrison look silly. He was all over him. It was right now he looks very big and thick, and he's very fast. He looks fully recovered from his injury, and he looks very confident at the moment.
That recovery to break it, to actually rip it out of Marvin Harrison's hands is, I mean, that's a really hard play. One of the best wide receiver prospects we've seen come into the league in a long time has it in his hands for a touchdown, and you recover behind 5 or 6 yards and are able to strip that out. I mean, that's really, really good. The rest of the game, except for that first rub route where they ran picks across it and Marvin Harrison got open. I mean, he was just on his hip, and he's so fluid. It doesn't even look like he's trying.
He's so good against big receivers because he's like 6'2" or 6'3", but any other big receiver, he's basically faster than them. So he is on them. It's just the smaller guys will give him trouble because they'll end up being quicker out of breaks. But guys his size that he can get up in, he's really, really good against.
Even some of the smaller guys. I mean, he's had really great games against Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
So he's great. He's very, very good. So you've got 2 of the top positions that you should be employing with good young talent, and you're wasting it away with Tweedle Dick and Tweedle Dumbass, and however else you want to throw in there, leading this team. As Bobby puts, as a closer, this team is sad and pathetic, and I hate them. You never felt like they had a chance in this game. In the first game of the 4th stretch to finish the season, they come out lifeless and dull. Mayo and company have no answers, and the same problems plague the team. There's nothing they can do in these 3 games to convince me the regime deserves another shot at it. They are going to get eviscerated by the Bills next week, who is going to score 50 a week right now. I hope the Bills ass rape Mayo and company to give Johnny the fuel he needs.
I hope they do.
Figuratively on the field, of course. I have been a win. The whole time I've been doing it, you have to build the culture and start winning. That's out the window. There's no convincing me they can do that. Blowout. Force the Kraft's hand. Start from scratch. Everybody in that building wants it, even if they're not saying it. Give Drake. I don't care if it's second year in the league. It's proven they're going in the wrong direction, and continuity can be bad if it's shitty continuity.
There isn't one thing they could point to as a point of something to build on other than Drake May, and it's just he's just good. They can't take credit for it. He's just a dude. He's a stud. They got lucky as shit.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself. So we will await the ass raping on Sunday against the Bills. Pound. And we'll see what the Crafts do. We will see what we are just in a holding. We are in a 3-week holding pattern for Black Monday. And I'm going to buy balloons and some party favors, and we'll see.
I hope that the Crafts go to this game and they sit there in Buffalo in their big puffy jackets. Just look how fucking pissy. Just we get to read their lips again.
I would like to see him on a phone with Mike Vrabel or Ben Johnson, Detroit Lions. That's what I would like to see.
On the television copy, you see him turn, and you just didn't see it right there. It just says like Mike Vrabel right there.
Yeah, no. It's the he's got a picture of Mike Vrabel shirtless for some reason, flipping him off.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're looking for there. Until then, join us every Monday for commiserating on the miserable here with the Patriots. I almost said Red Sox. That's what it feels like. Or if not, join us Thursday live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. And check out the podcast on your preferred podcast platforms. Release dates on Friday, Monday, and Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Later.